They broke down her fence at midnight, laughing, armed, and ready to steal. They thought she was just an old black woman alone on a quiet farm. But when the first warning shot shattered the night sky from 300 yards out, they realized she wasn't the prey. She was the legend. They came in 3 pickup trucks, headlights off. It was just past midnight in rural Georgia when a gang of 6 masked men rolled onto a quiet piece of farmland outside Monroe County. Their target, an old barn rumored to store valuable equipment, and the isolated farmhouse behind it. They figured the owner, Mabel Carter, was just another frail black woman living alone, 82 years old, quiet, harmless. They were wrong. Born in 1943, Mabel Carter wasn't just any widow. She was U.S. Army Sergeant First Class, retired, and once known across 3 continents by a code name whispered with respect, Hawkeye. She'd served as a combat sniper in Vietnam, trained special ops in the Gulf, and once made a confirmed shot at 200 yards. But they didn't know that. All they saw was a silhouette on a porch swing as they broke the lock on her barn and crept forward with crowbars. One man spotted something glint from the rooftop. Too late. Crack. The first warning shots split the antenna off their lead truck. Silence followed, then shouting from her perch on the second-floor roof. Mabel lay prone with a custom-built 7.62 rifle, one she'd maintained herself for 40 years. A night scope, suppressed barrel, and steady breathing. "About 5 more rounds chambered," she said loudly into the darkness. "Try me." One of them called her bluff and raised his weapon. Crack. The stock of his rifle shattered and his hand went numb. Panic took over. The men scrambled. Someone tried to run toward the house. Mabel switched positions without sound. And when her voice returned, it was closer. "You just stepped into my range." Police arrived 10 minutes later, called by a neighbor who heard gunfire but assumed it was training. What they found were 6 men flat on the ground, hands raised, visibly trembling. Not a scratch on Mabel. A local sheriff pulled her aside. "You really did this alone?" She simply smiled. "Didn't lift a foot off my porch." By morning, the headlines read, "Grandma Sniper halts armed farm invasion." But Mabel didn't care for the spotlight. She just sat back on her swing, rifle resting beside her, watching the sun rise over her land, unbothered, unmoved, untouchable. Comment sharp, still silent. If you believe real power never ages, it only gets steadier. Like, share, and subscribe for more cinematic stories where legends never retire.